Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Feed the Beast Infinity. I am your host, Renovate. Today, guys, is episode number 29, and we are going to be getting into something a little bit more relaxing, for me at least. But we're going to be working on bees, and I know I've shown you what we've got out front, and I'll go over that again. But I got a little place set up that we're going to start on bees, and I just want to get through it and show you guys a little bit on how it works. I'm not going to go through everything because it's pretty long mod. But yeah, so if you guys are enjoying any of these episodes or series, make sure you hit the like button. Leave me some comments or something like that. And if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, whatever that word is. So let's get started, guys. Out here, before I do anything, and it starts raining, perfect. Link made me some of these, so this is what he made in his last episode. If you guys want to see how they're made, go check out his episode. But this was one of the projects he was working on, and this is going to give us 10 more hearts. So watch our yellow ones down there at the bottom. They're going to start turning green. Now, if you watch his video, he actually has blue hearts, and that's because he has a ring from, I think, Botania, and it's called the Ring of Odin, I believe. Let's check it out real quick. I think it's called the Ring of Odin. Yeah, it's one of these. It's Ring of Odin right there. So, and I think you get that from one of the bosses, or a chance to get it from one of the bosses or something like that. So we might get into Botania here in a little bit. I really like to do some magic stuff because I haven't really done anything in magic this whole 29 episode series. So, but anyways, let's go outside real quick. And I'll show you I know it's raining, so I got my sound off so you guys can't hear it. So we've had this set up here for, I don't know, forever, it seems. And we've been letting this apiary right here make a bunch of this stuff. Royal jelly. And there's my beealyzer. And so we got a bunch of Imperial drones. And we got the Imperial Princess right here. And she's been making this. This is great. In this one over here, we were making industrial bees, right? But for whatever reason, we come back and we finally, oh, there's one. There was no princess in here, but now we have a princess, so that's weird. So yeah, we need to get a diligent and an unwary, and so we can get some industrious bees. But we're going to move all this stuff over to a different area. So let me click on this, and let's go to bees. And this is our bee area. So I wish that it would stop raining. So this is what we got set up here. I made a quantum ring, and that quantum ring is hooked up to our RF tools area over at our base. Let me just get some of this grass out of the way. I think I bone mealed this on accident. So anyways, we got this set up, and I can read my ME system from here, which is great, so I don't have to go back and forth. And then we got a couple of the basic machines. You're going to need a centrifuge, and that basically takes the combs and turns them down into honey drops and whatever. And then you're going to need to make a carpenter, and the carpenter does all kinds of things, but it works off of seed oil. And the way you get seed oil is you got to make a squeezer, and you got to squeeze seeds down, and it turns it into seed oil. So we'll pump it back into that thing right there. And so that's the basic machines. I'm not going to go over these too much because this really isn't that important. But as we do this, you're going to see how I use them. Over here, I got 6 apiaries set up. No particular reason that I made 6. I just wanted to set them up. And I'll tell you how they work here. Let me get some of this grass gone. There we go. Cool. So we got 6 apiaries. There's nothing inside of them right now, but we are going to be putting some stuff in here. So there's different types of different types of frames. We're going to be using the soul frames right here, and I don't have my notes in front of me, so I can't tell you exactly what those do. But I will tell you here sooner or later. I'll look it up real quick between segments, I guess. So anyways, they do some pretty cool stuff. Let me show you how you make those, though. First of all, you got to put your sticks in here. You just put some wood planks in here. It gives you 2 impregnated sticks, uses some seed oil. And then you take those impregnated sticks, and if we go to frames right here, that'll make you a frame. Untreated frame, Is that it? No, we want impregnated frame. There we go. Impregnated frame. So, and you make some impregnated sticks, you put some string in there, makes an impregnated frame. You take the impregnated frame, you add some soul sand, and you get this thing called a soul frame. So there's the recipe for it. So that's what we got in here. I got 3 in each one of them. And so that will help us get our bees. And like I said, I'll tell you what it does here in a minute. I need my notes. I don't have them with me. We also made these apiaries pipes. And let me show you how those are made. Well, I don't have to go over there. I can just show you right here. Let's type in apiaries or apiaries pipe. There we go. It is a diamond transport pipe, which is just glass and some diamonds. And then this propolis. Now, there's different ways of getting the propolis. You can get it out of some chests. You can get it out of industrial squeezers, fluid transposer, and then you can get it out of squeezing some stuff out of a centrifuge, which if you look, there is silky and this right here, a stingy comb. The stingy combs, I believe, if I remember correctly, come from the diligent bee and the unwavering bee, or unweary bee. So those are the 2 bees we're going to be using, actually, that we're going to bring over here to make the industrious bees. So yeah, that's how we make those. So you make these apiaries pipes, and they're cool because they act kind of like the Buildcraft transport pipe. That you can assign colors for different things to move. But the way that these work, basically, first of all, we use a wooden transport pipe that's going to be pulling out of the apiary up, and then we put a stone transport pipe and then to an apiaries pipe. The apiaries pipe's got colors, so green's coming in, and then you got to tell it what to do. So we have black going down and yellow goes in the chest. We have to assign what we want those colors to do. So the only 2 that we are going to assign is black, and we're going to tell it to put any bee that comes up in here, put it back down into here, okay? And then down here on yellow, we're going to put anything. If you put items, you don't want to do that. So you just put any bees, or you can assign it if you wanted to, but we want to put it on anything. And what happens is it's naturally going to look for the bee first to put in here, and then everything else is going to go into here. So you're going to get all of your combs and everything are going to go into here. And I believe your drones might go into there. I think we'll have to test it. I think they do. They do. The other thing you're going to want to make is this basic gate. Now this just isn't any basic gate. This is called a basic gate right here. And this is the recipe for it. You got to use your assembly table. Take a redstone chipset and then a red pipe wire. Red pipe wire is made by using an iron ingot, some redstone, and some red dye. Gives you 8 of them. Once you put those 2 things together, you'll get a basic gate. Now you want to make an upgrade for it, and the upgrade is called an man, I cannot pronounce that word. Artichick, whatever, pulsar. All right, that's what you want to make. This one right here. What that does is it pulses. And if you look at the wooden transport pipe, every once in a while you'll see a little pulse of energy right there. See that? That's cool. And then what you want to do is you want to click on it and throw your cheeseburgers down there. You want to, come on, there we go. You want to click on it, and it's going to give you this little heads up thing, okay? And what you want to do is there's a whole bunch of different things you can click on, but the one the one that you're going to want to find is called the missing queen or missing princess. What that's saying is it's going to look inside here, and if it's missing a princess or a queen, it's going to send a pulse. Now there's different things you can do on this one too, but you're going to want to put it on energy pulse. So it's going to send up a pulse and try to fill this thing with a princess again. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. So what's going to happen is this is going to get filled up. Okay, and if for whatever reason it doesn't see that there's a queen or a princess here, actually it could only be a princess. If it doesn't see that there's one here, it's going to try to find one in here, and it's going to suck it up, come up in here, and then go back down into the black, and it's going to set it here. So that's what that does. So we have 6 of them set up here, and the only reason I did 6 is because it fit nicely in my little area here. Just kind of confined in this little hexagon thing, or I guess that's a hexagon. So yeah, We also made this apiarist chest. This is going to allow us to put bees inside here. We don't have any now, but we do have some over at spawn. So let's go ahead and take this. This cultivated princess is actually a pristine genome, but if you look in here, we can actually take her and put it in here, and you can see that she's not a purebred. She's a cultivated diligent, even though she says pristine. That's weird. So we need to get a real cultivated, cultivated. So we'll go get a bunch of cultivated drones and put those in there with her. So we'll go ahead and put this in here like so. And then I'm going to go back and get some more, and then I'll tell you what these soul frames actually do. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back. So I did get my notes. These soul frames basically give you a higher chance of mutation, but with a shorter lifespan. So it causes the lifespan, but it increases the speed and the chance of getting the mutation that you're wanting, but at the cost of a shorter lifespan of the particular thing. So this cultivated princess, as you saw, was a hybrid, but the one that we had back at spawn that I had in that third apiary actually turns out to be a pristine stock. So we're going to put her in here, and we're going to try to get her to mate with the diligent. So I think the diligent and the cultivated gives you the unwary, so I'm pretty sure. So let's try it. So we'll put her in there, okay? And I went ahead and brought the Imperial Princess with me and some drones, and we're going to put her in there so she can start doing her thing, and hopefully that will, what's it saying? Yeah, it's raining. I know. So the rain's going to come on. This one's probably saying the same thing. Yep, it's raining. Figures. So that's not going to help us at all. So let's put these in here. We're going to put a bunch of those in there and those in there. I've just brought these with me. And the next time we get, let's go ahead and try this. The diligent, this is a cultivated. Let's try the cultivated, this one, and this diligent, and see what happens. And I brought this unwary one, so let's go ahead and check and see what this is. See if it's a purebred. It's not. It's an unwary diligent. So we're going to need to work on those. So what's going to happen is we're going to keep working on these until we get some pristine ones. And then what we're going to do is do like these two over here. We're going to make all the industrious, and these over here the imperial. And then we'll play around with this one. And when we get enough materials, we're going to actually make something called a, it's not an apiary, it's called something else, an alveary. That's what it's called, an alveary. Now this is a multi-block structure. It's kind of like an apiary, but it's a 3x3x3 block, and it's going to help us get the bees that we want a whole lot faster, especially the mutations, because what we're ultimately trying to get to is the infinity comb. So if we go right here, we want this, okay? When we get this, this is going to allow us to get, let me show you what happens when you use it. When you put it in a centrifuge, it's going to give you a chance of getting the power module. Why is that important? Well, the power module is used for all of the gendustry stuff. So if we go to gendustry, and we look at these things right here, this is kind of like an OP way of doing bees, okay? You can basically do anything you want and get any kind of bee you want by these machines up here. But the only way to get these is by using a power module. Now everything else is normal except these power modules. And so like I said, the only way you can get those is if you get the infinity comb, and the only way to get the infinity comb is by getting an infinity bee. So this is our ultimate goal. To get this, we're going to need a couple things. We're going to need a silicone and an energetic princess, okay? So let's start at the top and work our way backwards. So energetic princess, if we look back, it's going to say that if you take an excited bee and mix it with a diligent, you have an 8% chance of getting an energetic princess, or a queen, okay? Well, we can get a diligent. That's not the problem. The excited one is going to be the one that we're going to work on. So let's check and see what it takes to get an excited. The excited is a cultivated mixed with a valiant. Now we have a bunch of these back at base. We got those from, I think when we were running our ender query, we got a bunch of these. We'll have to go check. But it's only a 10% chance, so we need to make some frames that allow us, where's my chess piece? That'll allow us to get a better output of our combining of bees. Okay, so let's go back to that real quick. Boom, boom. Let's go back. Energetic. Keep going. Excited. And the Valiant. So the Valiant, as you can see, you really can't make it. It comes in dungeon chests, and I think that's why we got it. So that's going to give us that bee. Let's go back. So that's going to give us our energetic. Now, how do we get the silicone? Well, the silicone's a little bit different. It's a little bit more trickier. The diligent or the silicone requires two bees right here, a sky stone and a ferrous. Now let's work back on the sky stone. The sky stone is created by an earthen and a windy. Okay. Now I'll explain this right here in a minute. So let's take the earthen. How do you make an earthen one? You take a supernatural and an ethereal. How do you get a supernatural? Well, let's go back. You take a charmed and an enchanted. So as you can see, we got to make a bunch of alternate bees in order to get to where we want. So if we go to the charmed, you take a cultivated, which we have, right? We have one of these, and you need to mix it with an aldrich. If you take an aldrich, this is a little bit easier. So we have a bunch of these back at spawn as well, these sorceress bees. And we have a bunch of cultivated drones, and that'll give us a 12% chance of getting this aldrich queen. So then we can work our way forward to get the queen, the charmed. Okay, so you take the eldritch and the cultivated, gives you the charmed. You take the charmed, is this what we're looking for? The supernatural. The enchanted, how did we get the enchanted one? The eldritch and the charmed. Yeah, I think we just went through that. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you get the point. We're going to be doing this for quite some time. So I might make this like a 3-part series, maybe. I might try to get a lot of it done between episodes. But that's going to be my ultimate goal, and you're going to walk through it with me. And if you don't like bees, that's fine. I really enjoy it. I started doing it on the Resident Rise series, but that server has been taken down and has been replaced by another mod pack. So if you want to know how to get to the individual bees, like the cultivated and the diligent and the wary, go watch my video over on Resident Rise. It's actually the not so serious episodes that I did with Link. I did one on bees, and it tells you exactly how to get to each bee. There's a big, huge board. It looks like a tournament bracket. And I went through each step of how you get to the final two bees. That actually are not the, it's not actually the final two bees. It's the Imperial and the Industrious. And you need those two bees because what I was saying is when you get to the alveary right here, it requires, it requires these things here called scented paneling. The scented paneling needs pollen clusters, and the only way we can get pollen clusters is from the industrious bees right there. See, it makes these pollen clusters. So that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we're trying to get to. So now that the sun's going down, and is the sun going down? Yeah, sun's going down, and it stopped raining. These things are going to start working. So let them work for a little bit. We'll come back when we get what we need, and we'll go from there. Be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm sorry, I just eat my lunch. So let me show you what we've done so far since we started this. I got this one doing all the industrious bees. We finally got some, and we got the drones, and it is producing these pollen clusters. And this is what we are mainly looking for, is this pollen clusters, because that's what's going to help us make the alvearies. And this one is just the Imperials that we brought from spawn, so it's continuing to make royal jelly. So what I've been doing is I've been taking the cultivated queens, and when we did our Ender Quarry, we got a bunch of Valiants. And if you take a cultivated and a Valiant, you are trying to get an excited. So this is getting ready to stop. And so I can show you real quick. So if we go to the Infinity Bee and we look at this energetic, if you go back, we're trying to get this excited one right here. The way of getting an excited one is going cultivated with a Valiant. We have like 100 of these, not only the drones, but also the princesses, so the queens. So we're trying to get this excited bee. So this one is about ready to stop. We got a Valiant in here, but I put a cultivated in here to try to get the cultivated queen back. we don't want the Valiant Queen. We want a Valiant, or a cultivated Queen right here, and a Valiant. But what happens is when we get these excited, now I've been getting the drones, but we don't want the drone, we want the Queen. The effect is lightning, so I've been getting struck by lightning like non-stop. So let's see what see, there we go. We just got, I think I'm getting struck by lightning. So this turned into a cultivated. Did we get anything out of it? No, we did not. So we need to put a Valiant back in there. So do we have any Valiants? There's a Valiant right there. So we need to put this in there. So let's put the Valiant in there, and that one's going to start again. Start all over. Okay, so if we go over here, this is a Valiant Queen, and we need it to be a cultivated, and I'm pretty sure this one has already, something is biting me. I don't know what it is, but we need to put that in there. I think she's already started. So let's go over here and look at this one. This is a cultivated. We need to put a Valiant in there. So we need cultivated Valiants, and eventually we'll get a excited one. So let's go back to spawn real quick. Oh, also, if you get an excited bee, one of the characteristics of the excited bee is that it needs a flower. And if you put it in your beealyzer, it's going to tell you, like, I don't have any bees with me, but if you put it in there, I'll just grab one. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's do this diligent. It doesn't matter which one. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. This beealyzer will allow you to find out what these bees are. If it says, there's the lightning. Do you see it? So we must have an excited one here somewhere going on. Something's going on. So, and it's daytime. So if you open up your beealyzer, if the species are the same right here, that means it's a purebred. If it's diligent and like noble or something like that, it means it's a hybrid. So you want purebred. So try to get as many of the purebreds as you can. But down here on the flower type, it just says flowers. That just in general means flowers. But on the excited one, it actually said redstone. So I didn't know what it meant by redstone. So I put redstone dust around this. It didn't help. I put a redstone block under the apiary. It didn't help. And so I figured, well, the only other thing that's a redstone is a redstone torch. So I put up a redstone torch in here, and that solved the issue. So a redstone torch is considered a flower if you get to the excited one. So that's what we're waiting on. So one of this cultivated queen right here, this is awesome. Keep getting struck by lightning. That cultivated queen, even though it says cultivated, its main trait is not cultivated, it's excited. So that's why we're getting struck by lightning, and we need a redstone signal. So let's run back to base real quick. I want to show you what we got going on there. I got two of these things going on at the same time. So if we go over here, so at this place we got unusual eldritch. So that's what I'm trying to get, this eldritch. And you get the eldritch by taking a sorceress with a cultivated or an unusual with a cultivated, and you get an eldritch. But we need the eldritch. I believe we need the eldritch. I'm going down this line right here. We need the eldritch to get the earth and supernatural. Maybe, here we go, charmed. Maybe it's the charmed. We'll find out. So we need a cultivated princess with an eldritch will give us a charmed. That's what we're trying to get. So now that I know that, let's take this eldritch guy. We'll keep him, and let's keep trying to make some more. So we'll put the unusual princess with the cultivated, and hopefully we'll get a couple more eldritch. And then over here we got excited, and we got an excited queen. So that's awesome. So we got a bunch more exciteds, and we do need those for these energetics. So if we go here, we got excited with a diligent will give us an energetic. That's what we're trying to get. So we need some more diligence. I don't think we have any left. These are all valiants. Okay, so let's go back to our bee hub. All right. And then over here in this chest here, is it this one? Diligent? There's one diligent. The diligents have kind of a pinkish purple outline, and the cultivateds are more of that bluish purple outline. So here's some more diligents. Let's see if we can find a purebred one. Now, since these are all stacked, these are all going to be, this is a purebred, so we'll keep that one. Are these all purebred? These are all purebred, so these should stack. There's something got to be different about these two. Slower, diligent, slow. So what's the difference between him and this one? Let's see if we can find out what it is. Doesn't really say. So we'll have to figure out. It must be just something on the line of So you can, it's the mutations, it's the line that it's in. So the mutations might be different. So, but these are purebred. So let's take these back. Actually, let's check on these real quick. So we got sugar. That's interesting as a byproduct. So we got Valiant with the cultivated. It's getting ready to switch. And then we got an excited queen. Awesome. So that's what we've been waiting on. An excited queen. And I don't know what they put back with it. So maybe we can do it. Oh, she's already started. She's already started. Crap. Okay. Well, we could take her out. We can stop the process of breeding. So if we put this in our beealyzer, we put this excited queen in here. See, it's an excited cultivated. That's not what we want. We want excited. Okay? Even though it says it's a pristine stock, it's excited cultivated. That's not what we want. We want the purebred. So we're going to put her back in there. And let's see if this excited... Why is she already started? Let's see if this... Oh, that's because she's a queen. Crap. She's not a princess. Let's see what this excited one is. This is an excited industrious, so we don't even want that one. So let's go over... One of these has an excited in the bottom, I thought. Yeah, right here. So let's look at this one. And it is an excited cultivated. And she is what? An excited cultivated. It's the inactive. Which is this the inactive trait? We could try this and see if we can get a better one. Let's just try. So we'll put those in there and see what happens. My chests are open, don't know why. What's this? This is an excited drone. So this must have worked. So cultivated, and let's click this and let's put this excited. That's an excited industrious. So we must have bred it with something funky. Let's go ahead and sleep. Somebody must be on. Nope, that's weird. Alright, so that's an excited drone. This is an excited. Let's check what this one is. And that's an excited cultivated. There's some more lightning strikes hitting me or something. Okay, so we got cultivated. And we want to put... What is she? Cultivated? Okay, we need some Valiants. So let's grab a Valiant. They're hard to see because they're almost the exact same color. There it is, a Valiant. Just a little bit different. You can see that this one's kind of a really light blue and that one's kind of a blue purple. So let's put that in there. And this will hopefully get us some... There's another Valiant. This will hopefully get us some more exciteds. So that's that, okay? There's no excited. Did we look at that one? We didn't look at that. So we're getting a lot of excited ones here, which is a good thing. Let's look at... Oh, oops, I left them in the chest. Let's actually grab these. Let's beealize these things. That's an excited Valiant. That's actually good. And that's an excited cultivated. So neither one of these... Now if I hover over with my shift, it'll tell you exactly what it is. Neither one of those are what we're looking for. So let's head back to base real quick. And then I'm going to keep working on these. And as I get them done, I'll show you the next step. But let's check on this one real quick. This one's still working on that one. And so on this one, we got an excited princess and a bunch of excited drones. So let's take her and let's look at her real quick. And let's see what she is. She's an excited diligent. So we need to keep going with her so she gets a purebred. We'll keep purebreeding her with more exciteds until we get it. But we are getting energetic combs, which means we're getting close. Okay, so let me finish a couple things up and we'll come back and see where we're at. Be right back. Alright guys, I wanted to bring you back real quick because we are at the excited queen mixing with the diligent, and this could be a chance to finally get the next one up, which would be the energetic, and we didn't. Oh, or did we? Looked like we got an energetic. Let's check. So the excited queen should go back in the top. Should. There we go. Excited princess with the diligent. But it looked like excited. No, we did not get one. Crap. So we'll have to wait for another mutation. We need her to turn into this one right here, which we've been working on for all day. So we got an excited mixed with a diligent. And I think we're actually running out of diligence, so we'll have to make sure we keep a good supply of diligence for her. On this one, we got a cultivated mixing with a valiant, so we're trying to get another chance for an excited princess. This one is a valiant mixed with cultivated, so I'm trying to get a cultivated queen back. And then over here, I'm going to go ahead and make this. This is going to be for next episode. We'll go ahead and make the alveary because we do have plenty enough of the pollen clusters now. This thing's been going on for all day, and so we're pretty excited about that. And we'll probably make some more frames. So let's head over to spawn real quick, and we'll see what's going on over there. And then we'll probably call this part 1 episode. And next episode, guys, we'll make the alveary, and I'll show you how that works and how it'll actually help us get through these bees a lot faster, actually. Because some of these bees we can't actually use. This is excited with a diligent. Here's all our diligence. Hopefully this one will turn into what we need. Over here I have cultivated and another cultivated. We need to take some of this stuff out. There we go. Let's put that in there like that. And what were we trying to do? This is cultivated. We need to mix a cultivated with a valiant. So do I have a valiant? There we have a valiant. So let's put a valiant in here. First of all, let's see what she is. It says ignoble stock, so I'm probably going to be a cultivated noble bee. But we can check. So it's a cultivated. Cool. So she is a purebred. That's perfect. So let's put her in there. And let's put this valiant in there. And that'll give us a chance of getting another excited one. And in this one we got valiant and cultivated. And she's making sugar. Which is kind of fun. So let's put that stuff in here. And I did want to show you guys one more thing before we go. I'll show you what these excited bees make. They make these energetic combs. And if we go back, let's go back to our bees real quick. Let's scroll through here, go to bees. Alright. If we put these in here and squeeze them out, you'll get redstone. Here, I'll take this redstone out just to show you these energetic combs, and that's what's causing the lightning strikes that are hitting us on our heads. This will actually create redstone. Or a chance of getting redstone, I think. Actually, I saw beeswax pop out of that one. So let's see. Yeah, there we go, redstone. So there's a byproduct, or not a byproduct, but one of the products of these combs, which is cool. So you could actually, if you wanted to, I mean, you don't have to go through the end process of doing like the industrial ones. As soon as you get these energetic ones, or the excited ones, they produce a lot of redstone, which is kind of fun. So if you need a early game source of redstone without mining for it, you could use this. So that's pretty cool. So right there's almost a whole stack of redstone. A whole block of redstone, I should say. So that's probably going to be this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was kind of some information for you. It's kind of a long mod, so we're going to take our time getting through it, but I'm not going to go through all of this stuff. Like I said, make sure you check out the video I did on Resident Rise. It's actually the not so serious episode for bees. That'll show you how to get up to this point, and so I'm just continuing it from there. So as the sun comes up behind me, I hope you guys had a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you check everybody else's videos in the descriptions below, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time, guys.